For 7 months they've been held hostage by pirates in the barren scrubland of one of the most lawless countries on earth. But in their first full television interview since a price was put on their liberty, Paul and Rachel Chandler dare to defy the gunmen who are holding them.
It's not piracy. This is absolutely not piracy. It mustn't be reported as such. It's kidnapping and extortion and even torture.
We are just animals to them. We've been kept caged up like animals. They don't care about our feelings and our family and our lives and what they've taken. They don't care whose lives they ruin. They just want the money.
I think the world owes them the money.
Last October, the Chandlers were enjoying the yachting holiday of a lifetime. The retired couple were sailing in the Indian Ocean, just off the Seychelles, when they were kidnapped by Somali pirates. Since this photograph was taken last year, they've been transported against their will to windswept Somalia. Last Thursday, they were allowed to talk to this Somali journalist, Jamal Osman. The pirates are hiding behind the camera, refusing to be filmed and heavily armed. Letting the Chandlers speak, it seems, because they want to send this extraordinary message to Britain's new Prime Minister.
I'd like to say congratulations to David Cameron first. And as new Prime Minister, we desperately need him to make a definitive public statement of the government's attitude to us. As I said, we're 2 British citizens. We've been kidnapped in the Seychelles, which was a perfectly safe place to be. If the government is not prepared to help, then they must say so, because the gangsters' expectations and hopes have been raised at the thought of a new government. There might be a different approach.
Paul Chandler is aged 60 and a retired civil engineer. His wife Rachel, an economist, is 56. Last week, around 10 pirates drove them in 2 4x4 cars to a secret location in the African bush where this interview was filmed, somewhere between the Somali towns of Haradere on the coast and Adado, about 200 miles inland.
Every hour, you know,
The Chandlers have been married for almost 30 years, but for much of their time in captivity they've been separated and kept apart.
You know, it was 210 days ago that we were kidnapped in the Seychelles and brought to Somalia. Of that time, we've spent 97 days in solitary confinement, almost a half. We don't have children, so we're very close to each other. We've never been apart for more than a few days. We've been married almost 30 years. So to be separated is real torture.
Simply not knowing what was happening and whether we would be together again, when, where each other was real torture, mental torture.
Last time she was filmed with a visiting doctor in January, Rachel Chandler had clearly lost weight and was in distress.
These people are treating us so cruelly. I don't know what else I can say. Just please help us.
Since then, news reports have suggested that Rachel was raped or shot, but this appears to have been a mix of pirate propaganda and media hype. The Chandlers say they have enough food and medicine, though there was one instance of physical abuse.
The second time we were separated, we refused to be separated initially, and that was a bit silly. We were physically separated, and we were whipped, and Rachel was hit with a rifle butt. It's a broken tooth. It's a long time ago, and the wounds have healed. That was the only occasion, only one occasion, we had any real aggression.
The couple's yacht, the Lynn Rival, was captured and looted 7 months ago. They'd sold their house to buy the boat, and recalling it still visibly upsets Rachel Chandler.
The very worst experience, and the experience that made me realise that our lives had changed forever, was when we were forced to abandon Lynn Rival, and I can't think about it without bringing tears to my eyes, because that was the moment, having spent 6 days having our home, our boat, which was our home, ransacked by these people, and then having to abandon her was the very worst experience. And when I realised that nothing would ever be the same again.
What pains the Chandlers even more is that this Royal Navy refuelling ship, the Wave Knight, was just 100 metres or so away when the pirates were aboard. British sailors on the front line of the war against piracy, though instead of risking a rescue and casualties, they held off.
The fact that we're alive and talking to you suggests that they were right to do what they did. But it really makes them, the whole of that fleet of warships, a laughing stock, and that's what they are, a laughing stock with these people.
When they can't stop
They can't do anything.
The pirates may not give up the couple without a fight. Here they are, menacingly cocking their guns, in pictures we broadcast a month after they'd taken their hostages. And those hostages now openly condemn their kidnappers, even though those pirates are standing right by the camera.
They show no compassion as you and I would understand it. They are only interested in us as a vehicle for raising money, and their only interest is in keeping us alive in order to do so.
We're old enough to be the grandparents of most of the people in the gang. But you know, we can't communicate with them. We can't say to them, how would you like it if your grandparents were taken away to another country, separated, kept in solitary confinement? But we can't say that. We can't communicate.
The Chandlers' daily challenge is filling time, never knowing when or where they will be moved in this harsh African landscape. They say they brush their teeth for 10 minutes on end and constantly play card games just to survive the tedium of hostage life.
The only thing that is difficult is the lack of privacy, but I'm now so used to them that I just go and find a bush to wash and use the toilet, and if they see me, that's their problem. I mean, I have to make do, and I, you know, one does.
7 months ago, they were just an ordinary retired couple, not now. Their families have been made aware of this interview, and from the wilderness of warring Somalia, the Chandlers are deeply concerned about them.
We miss our friends and family very much, and I know we've said it before, but it is really important to say that we are being strong for them, because they keep us going, knowing that they are there supporting us and doing everything. We know they're doing their best. It's been 7 months, and we know that they must have been suffering alongside us, and we care about them very much.
There's one thing that's important, and that is freedom. We don't have it. Nothing else matters, really, I would say. We don't miss anything. We miss everything. We miss the ability to walk out of the door and determine our own lives. It's been wrongfully taken from us.
After talking for more than an hour, the Chandlers were then led away. Their overwhelming message from captivity is one of defiance and love.